On Tuesday, Congress said it intends to pass legislation to regulate encryption if Silicon Valley doesn't agree to give the government complete access to everyone's private communications. This announcement is part of the significant pushback that Facebook has received since announcing a company shift in policy towards privacy. A privacy-focused communications platform will become even more important than today's open platforms. Privacy gives people the freedom to be themselves and connect more naturally, which is why we build social networks. Facebook is the company that we all love to hate because of all of the data mining that has happened on the platform. So it is heartening to see this shift towards wanting to protect their users' data and privacy. The government, however, is not impressed. Attorney General William P. Barr demanded that no one should have the right to private communications and that the government should have access to everything. "You're going to find a way to do this, or we're going to do this for you," said Senator Lindsey Graham. "You're either the solution or you're the problem." Britain and Australia, two countries with a terrible track record for overreaching surveillance, joined Barr in his open letter to Zuckerberg. Companies should not deliberately design their systems to preclude any form of access to the content. In other words, don't allow your users any privacy. Breaking strong encryption is one of the Justice Department's highest priorities, and they always use the same excuses to justify this. Well, encryption is used by drug cartels and child pornographers and other criminals. But do you know who else uses encryption? All of us. Online commerce would not be possible without encryption. Logging into websites without using encryption transmits our passwords in the open and leaves us open to any hacker who wants to break into our accounts. WeChat and Facebook Messenger executives responded to the government letter, saying that a backdoor would make their users less safe. The backdoor access you're demanding for law enforcement would be a gift to criminals, hackers, and repressive regimes, creating a way for them to enter our systems and leaving every person on our platforms more vulnerable to real-life harm. But also, end-to-end encryption is the only way that we can have private communication online. But some people ask, why is private communication important? What have you got to hide? The entire tone of a society changes when people know that they're being surveilled. We self-censor, we conform and live in fear. A surveilled society is a repressed society, and we are dangerously close to having every part of our lives observed. Snowden taught us that every digital communication we make is stored in a permanent record attached to our identity in a giant data center built by Amazon. That private conversation you had with your partner via SMS, stored permanently in a database linked to your identity, along with every other SMS you've ever sent. Have an Alexa in your bedroom? It's monitoring everything you do, and that information is being stored in your permanent record. That deeply personal email you sent, stored permanently. To wade through all these private communications the government has stored, they have a specially designed search engine made by Google called X-Keyscore. These records, all linked to your identity, are accessible by real people. This isn't a conspiracy theory, this is just what's going on, and it's only by acknowledging what's happening that we can then make better choices in our lives to protect ourselves and to fight against bad government policy that's putting us further at risk. And currently the government is trying to strip us of the only thing that allows us any kind of private thought in a digital world: end-to-end encryption. And this battle has been brewing for a while. You may remember in 2016, the San Bernardino shooting, when the government ordered Apple to break into the shooter's phone. Apple said they would oppose the order to provide a backdoor to the iPhone, calling the implications of the government's demands chilling. For many years, we have used encryption to protect our customers' personal data because we believe it's the only way to keep their information safe. We've even put that data out of our own reach because we believe the contents of your iPhone are none of our business. Whenever I hear about a company standing up against mass surveillance, it gives me hope. Government officials like to say that surveillance is for the good of the nation, but by that they mean the nation state, i.e. it helps the people in power maintain their power. They don't mean for the good of the citizens in that country. In fact, weakening the privacy of every citizen makes us all much worse off. And it's completely false that the government can't catch the bad guys unless they break our end-to-end encryption. As Apple said, law enforcement today has access to more data which they can use to prevent terrorist attacks, solve crimes, and help bring perpetrators to justice than ever before in the history of our world. We believe it would be wrong to weaken security for hundreds of millions of law-abiding customers so that it will also be weaker for the very few who pose a threat. The Australian government has already effectively banned end-to-end encryption, and the US is trying to. But politicians really need to make up their mind about this issue. Earlier this year, they were chastising Facebook for not protecting its users' data, and now they don't want to allow Facebook to protect it. While politicians can make endless contradictory promises and demands of Facebook, asking them to at the same time protect users' privacy and also not allow users to have any privacy, Facebook ultimately will have to choose which direction they go in. I applaud their response to the government's demands, and am so happy that they're taking a stand in favor of encryption and user privacy. But it doesn't mean they'll succeed. Here are 2 reasons why I'm hopeful but skeptical. First, it's not necessarily in Facebook's financial interests. It could cause an upheaval in their business model of mining people's information to show them ads. It could get them blocked in countries that oppose encryption. And it also goes against what Zuckerberg calls Facebook's core mission of detecting misinformation operatives and other bad actors on the company's platform by moderating unwanted content. This requires the ability to read the content people post. The second reason that I'm not so sure they'll succeed is because of the government. Facebook could lose the battle of maintaining end-to-end encryption, and we might not even know about it. The government could order them to add a backdoor to their devices, and then they could also give them a gag order that stops them telling anyone that they've done this. They could also add a double bind, which stops them from criticizing these policies in general. And we know that there are many companies who have been affected by gag orders and double binds. Who knows how this is going to turn out, but this is an incredibly important battle that major players in Silicon Valley are facing right now. And I'm really glad that Facebook is speaking out about this. And I'm also really glad that there seems to be this groundswell movement in favor of privacy in general. So let's keep the conversation going and keep giving people tools to live the modern privacy-conscious lifestyle. If you have any privacy concerns or tips, please leave them in the comments below. And if you liked this video and found it helpful, then please subscribe and share. Thank you so much for watching.